Hello, my friend. In this video, we are going to continue the series A Geek's Guide to Life, and we will be discussing lessons that we can learn about human nature and differences and division and unity as seen in X-Men. One of the things that I both love and hate about X-Men is the connections that we can see between fiction and reality. Is the way that humanity handles mutants any different than how we would handle that same thing in real life? What lessons can we learn to keep from following down the same divisive path? How can we as a people become more unified with the fellow humans that we share this earth with? So that's what we will be discussing in this video. I'm going to go pour myself some hot chocolate, and then let's get real about unity and division in X-Men. Whether it's different skin color, different genders, different perspectives, different nationalities, different cultures, people have often feared and resisted that which is different from them. We like for things to make sense and have order, but that does not exist when we lack understanding. Our brains naturally resist change, whether it's in the world around us or in the worldview within our minds. If it's too complicated to grasp, we ignore it or force it to conform to our own understanding. It's like when you look at a random ink blot and you see faces in it. Our brains are constantly searching for what is familiar and trying to make sense out of chaos. We often do that with people, though, too. We assume that they're just like us and believe the same things that we do and think the same way that we do. And when it becomes so different that we can no longer ignore it, we panic because it shatters our understanding of how the world works. We feel a loss of control of our own little worlds, and we are forever changed and must decide how we enter this new world. Do we approach it with curiosity and seeking truth? Or do we approach it with fear and hostility? When differences are feared, a dividing line grows stronger until people begin speaking in terms of us versus them. I've seen it in the racial division and police tension whenever I live down the road from Ferguson during the riots. I see it in heated arguments on social media as people attack one another for having different political views and saying things like, "We can't let them ruin our way of life. They are behind the problem that's affecting us. What are we going to do about them? Why can't they just fit in with us?" Rather than seeing the other person as a fellow individual equally worthy of love, value, and respect. Hate to break it to you, but people are different. They always have been, they always will. There will always be people who disagree with you, who see the world differently than you do, who look different than you do, who have very different brain wiring than you do, who have different natural strengths and weaknesses than you do. But guess what? Differences don't have to equal division. Let me say that again. Differences do not have to equal division. I'm going to take a break for cocoa. Okay, where were we? So in the X-Men movies, we see the humans who are fearing the mutants. I mean, rightly so. And so they're trying to protect their own kind. But then on the other side, you've got Magneto, who sees his own people, the mutants, being persecuted and shamed and attacked. So he's trying to protect his own kind. And both sides see their cause as righteous because they're doing what they think is best to protect lives. And in the middle is dear sweet Charles Xavier, who believes that all people have equal value, both humans and mutants alike, and he believes that they can coexist, that they can live in peace and harmony. But how can they achieve this when the differences are so great? Throughout my life, I've seen how so many conflicts arise from an inability to empathize, to put yourself in someone else's shoes for like 1 second. You know, we so stubbornly hold on to our own perspective. We've got our blinders up and we can only see from this one angle and can't even think for a moment that when you stand over there, it looks different. In X-Men, if the humans had stopped to think about what it would be like to be a mutant, they'd understand them so much better. I mean, can you imagine if you could fly or like shoot fire out of your hands? Like, I wouldn't want to give that up, would you? Trying to make people equal for the sake of fairness is like some freaky Harrison Bergeron dystopian crap. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's a short story by Kurt Vonnegut, and I highly recommend that you check that out right now. But basically, it's a dystopian future where the American Constitution is amended to make people literally equal, like force them to be equal. So people who are strong or athletic have to wear these weights, or people who are really beautiful have to wear these hideous masks, and people with above average intelligence wear this device that emits this loud sound to disrupt their thoughts. Yeah, not good. As much as it sucks to get the short end of the stick and not be the world's most talented, beautiful, strong, intelligent person in the world, that does not mean that we should handicap or hold back those who are. And how would you feel if you were really good at music and were told that you could never play an instrument, or if you were just born naturally gorgeous and you had to wear a stinky, ugly mask for the rest of your life? Life isn't fair. Some people have advantages over us. Having equal human life and worth does not mean having to have equal human attributes. We all have different strengths and weaknesses, and there's going to be some people who are more attractive than us, more intelligent than us, more talented or stronger than us. Before, I was talking about how the humans needed to put themselves in the mutant shoes, but also the mutants needed to put themselves in the human shoes. You know, if they did that, if they looked at it from the human perspective, they realize, like, oh, that's why they're freaking out. I'd be really scared too if someone could like mess with my mind and make me see things, or like just blink at me and suck out my soul. Like, that's scary. Not every mutant is bad, but also not every mutant is good. You know, there's gonna be those that use their powers for the betterment of the world, but you know, it's just human nature. There's gonna be some that are using it to abuse people and take advantage of people and hurt people. But do you limit everyone, even the good and responsible, because of the few who do use their powers for evil? That sure can get messy and complicated, huh? Complicated problems often require complicated solutions. Another way to combat divisive thoughts of us versus them is to realize that most problems rarely have only two sides. Most choices are not always so clean cut right and wrong. We like to quickly label good guys and bad guys. I mean, that's how we like our movies, right? We want to know who to cheer for. And in real life, we probably are always assuming that we're the good guy, right? But humans are more complicated than that. I have yet to meet a person who is 100% good or 100% evil. You know, we're all messed up, okay? Let's be honest. We are all messed up. We are all imperfect people made up of both good and bad decisions, and both pure and selfish motives. And if you're labeling an entire people group as the bad guys, there's clearly a problem here, because, I mean, since when did skin color make everyone think and act exactly alike? Each individual has their own backstory and personality type and motives and opinions. So if we can't label an entire people group as the bad guys, wipe them out, and call it a day, then what do we do? I get really frustrated when people make problems out to be simple either or decisions. You know, for example, like, why do we have to be either fully Republican or fully Democrat? Why do we have to either be fully for rights or fully for life? Why do we have to either be supporting men or supporting women? Why do we have to choose between the side of one friend or another? Most problems are rarely that simple to be given only two options as solutions. It's not as easy as saying, let's let anyone onto the women's sports team, or let's let everyone have a gun, or let's support everyone financially who doesn't have a job. But rather, it requires a more thoughtful and thorough solution. Yeah, it's probably going to mean a lot more work, a lot more trial and error, a lot of headaches, probably a lot of inconvenience, but it is worth it to find the best solution that benefits all. If humans are unique individuals, then we deserve unique solutions that serve everyone, not just one group. We should be seeking ways to bring us all together, not create stronger dividing lines that cause shame and harm and disunity. I think it's time for some more cocoa. Chocolate cures all. When talking about unity and division, it's important to note that the problem is the problem, not a person or people group. When we label people as the problem, we start seeing people as on different sides rather than seeing different sides to the problem. I've heard some people say that they are, protecting themselves. But if you are protecting yourself at the cost of hurting someone else, there is clearly a problem here, because let me tell you, your life, your rights, your happiness, your success, your comfort, your convenience should never trump that of anyone else. You are not more valuable than anyone else. So instead of fighting each other, we should be fighting together to find a mutually beneficial solution. We're all on the same team here. But how do we bring unity in a world that is already so very divided? Like I talked about in my video, 6 Lies You Tell Yourself About Others, when two different sides, two different people are in conflict with each other, someone has to make the first move for there to be peace. And if you're waiting for the other person to be the initiator, it's likely never going to happen. But guess what you do have control over? That's right, you, yourself. You can make the first move. In the X-Men movies, we constantly see Charles Xavier and the X-Men doing what they can, making that first move to try to bring about peace. No matter the persecution from both sides, they never gave up hope that humans and mutants could live in harmony. Xavier's vision for his school was to turn it into a university where all kinds of young people, both mutants and humans alike, could work together and grow together. When we seek unity, everyone benefits. We should embrace our differences and learn from one another with a loving curiosity. There is a synergy when we combine our efforts. We truly are stronger together. If you benefited from this video, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see other content like this, and comment down below because I would absolutely love to hear your thoughts and discuss it with you. And until next time, keep it real.